Hi everyone, and welcome to Paper Pumpkin Week here on Creative Chelsey. This week, I am going to share with you some great card ideas that you can make with one set of supplies from the September 2024 Paper Pumpkin Kit called Autumn Abundance. The projects from this kit are so fun and perfect for this time of year. The kit creates a total of 9 greeting cards, 3 in these 3 different designs, as well as these beautiful coordinating envelopes. If you would like to watch me unbox the kit and create these cards, or see any of my other alternatives, you can click on the playlist in the top right corner. This is the second set of alternative cards I'm sharing this week. So I did do a 3 cards from 1 card base, and you can find that up here in the top right corner. I'll include that in the playlist. So these are the 2 cards we're going to be creating today. I love how these 2 cards celebrate fall with bold colors and woodsy images. They're just so cute. If you're new to my channel and would like to continue to see all of my paper pumpkin alternatives, make sure to subscribe using the link in the bottom right corner. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you're interested in getting your own paper pumpkin subscription, please use the link in the description below to subscribe. We're going to go ahead and begin with this card here. This will be our first card. This card uses 2 card bases. We're going to use the back panel of the small square card base, and then we're going to use this card base here. So we're going to actually we're going to use this side here for our card base. So let's go ahead and begin with that. So we've got our wood card base, and we are going to cut it at 4 inches. So there will be just a little bit of this score line. Okay, so you do include a little bit of the score line because we did remove a 1/2 inch for our first set of cards. All right, so once we've done that, do you see how this corner here has 2 vanilla areas and this side only has 1? We're going to go ahead and cut from the 2 side. So put that side on the left, and we're going to cut that at 1 3/4 inches. Just like that. This is going to be our bottom section. And then let's go ahead and grab that square, and we are going to cut this at 4 by 4, okay, which should be right along that score line. Okay, so hold on to all your other pieces. We will be using those for our future alternatives. So it doesn't really matter which side you choose, but you're going to pick one side, and we're going to tear the bottom maybe about 1/2 inch. Just tear off one side, and you want to have a little bit of variation, so let it kind of go up and down a little bit. Okay, so we get this beautiful torn edge on that side, and then on this side we're going to remove just some of that very vanilla, tear it about 1/2 inch again. Okay, so we have 2 torn edges. Let's go ahead and add this to our card base. I'm going to be using card bases of Cajun Craze for both cards today. I love how these colors just really pop with that dark card base in the background. For the inside, you can add any white paper if you want to have a lighter paper to write on. I'm going to do some technique here with my adhesive that I did in my first class, or my first alternatives, and I'm going to add adhesive to the top edge and place that right along the top edge. I'm going to center it horizontally, so this should be the same amount of space on both the right and the left sides. And then I'm going to repeat that on the bottom. try to mimic the same side so that visually they line up. Okay, so now we have this really fun torn valley, we're going to say, in between the two patterns. I love how that gives it a really rustic feeling. Then we're going to take some dimensionals, put them on your fingertips, remove the paper backing, and we're going to pop these underneath on this open side. And that's going to give us kind of that depth that we're looking for. So just one on each side and one in the middle. You can see that how that pops up that front piece or that top piece, and then we'll do the bottom piece next. Okay, so this just makes it really easy to pop into an envelope because there's not a lot of depth happening along the edges, but we do get depth where we want it, which is where we've torn those two pieces. Now, I did decide to use the die cuts that come in, or they don't come, sorry, they are a coordinating product with this card. So if you want to use those, you can, or you can skip that part, just depending on if you have them or not. So I'm going to first show you how it looks without it. So for this greeting, I'm going to use the circle label that comes in the kit, and we're going to stamp the thinking of you in the center of that label with the Cajun Craze ink that also came in the kit. So you just don't really need a ton of things to make this card. See how cute that is, even just by itself? If you do want to, you can add a little bit of twine. And I'm going to use a fun technique. So because this card opens like a book, I want to wrap twine around the front, but there's no way to do that. So what I'm going to do is right here in the middle of this opening, I'm just going to take a pair of paper snips and cut a small little notch. Then I can take my twine and let's see, I don't know if I have enough. I am going to do, so let's see, that's about 4 inches, so 8 inches plus 10, so about, let's just do 20 inches, see if I've got enough. Oh, just perfect, actually. So we'll do 20 inches of twine, and you're going to string it through that hole that you created. And then close your card. Hold everything in place while you tie a knot. Okay, so once you have your knot, you can put one hand on the front, one hand on the back, and rotate it. Okay. And then you can tie that near your greeting. And you could put the greeting on the left, on the right. It can really be anywhere. So that's what it looks like if you don't have the die cuts. I wanted to give you some options there. I'm going to bring that down just a little bit, tie my bow. And then let's pop this on with some dimensionals. We'll do some just on the top and bottom, and that will give me some room to tuck those leaves in. We'll put that right in the center, making sure the greeting is straight. So there you go. So cute. If you do have the die cuts, let's go ahead and grab some scratch paper. So you're going to need just some coordinating colors, and I pulled in the Cajun Craze. I also did some wild wheat and crumb cake. And then the die that I used is that gorgeous big leaf die, which is the same shape as the one that comes in the kit. So they've got the die cut leaf. Let me see if I can show you here. So you see that yellow leaf right there? That piece is that same shape and size of this die cut set. So this is the coordinating set. It comes with Hooray, and then this piece cuts out an image from a previous paper pumpkin set, and then this one coordinates with this month's. So let's go ahead and cut one of each of those colors. All right, so I've cut each of those out in crumb cake, wild wheat, and Cajun craze, and I've added a dimensional and a glue dot to them. Dimensional at the top, glue dot at the bottom. And then you're just going to go ahead and tuck these underneath your greeting. I'm going to add the wild wheat under the bow and on the right side. And then I'm going to do the Cajun craze. I like this one kind of popping on the wood piece. See how it just gives some good contrast there. And then the crumb cake can go just kind of on top of that one. So you can really add those however you want. And your card is all done. Nice, simple card, easy variation depending on what products you have on hand. Let's go ahead and go to card number 2, which uses a lot of the die cuts from the kit. All right, so for card number 2, we're going to use this full piece here. This is that other piece that came from the bottom of that. So the final piece size is 3 3/4 by 4 inches. We're going to place the score line at the bottom. So we are covering that up. We're going to use the flap, leftover flap of the the brown envelope. So it has kind of that same pattern there. We're just removing the cream color piece from at the score line. So go ahead and cut that. It's just under an inch. It could be different depending on what you have. And then we're going to use the brown side. Okay, so we're going to overlap those, and we do need to cut them down. I'll just do that by hand. So let's go ahead and take some liquid adhesive and cover up this one side here. Just make sure it goes straight across, just like that. And then take your scissors and you can trim off any excess, just so it's all the same size. And the nice thing about this card is that we are going to distress the edges. So that's a fun thing that we've done on both cards, is distressing. So 2 different ways to distress. I like to take a pair of scissors. It doesn't matter which kind. You can use your paper snips or a different pair. And just along the edge, kind of roughen that up along that top edge. Okay. So every time I do this, it looks different. You can be a little rougher with the thicker card stock, but this envelope paper, maybe just use your finger because it is a lot thinner and will tear a lot easier. You could also use a bone folder if you want to use something like a tool. Okay, so bone folder is a good tool for the softer, lighter weight paper here. Okay, just kind of give it a little distressed look, roll it, fold it. Kind of just want it to look worn and woodsy. So that's for this card. Obviously for this card, we've done the tearing technique to give it kind of that worn look. So just like that. We're also putting this on a card base of Cajun craze. And we're going to pop this up. Actually, let's just add it with regular adhesive. I just didn't glue down that corner, so it looked like it was popped up. This just is going to go right in the center of your card base. Okay. And then let's gather up some of the die cuts. So we're going to need the label, and we're going to use the Sending Autumn Wishes Your Way. So we're using that decorative label. I also am using the little half circle of leaves. I love the little bit of copper foiling on these, and then the mushroom. And then I did want to add a little bit of this pretty leaf here, and I'm going to do that in a coordinating color, which is the wild wheat. But you could do any color that you want. If you want it to be green or orange, you can choose that. I'm going to go ahead and just stamp that on some basic white cardstock scrap that I have laying around. And we'll just do a quick fussy cut around that. This leaf shape is really quite easy. You can get in there and do all those little ridges, but I'm just going to do a quick little solid line going all the way around. There. Okay. So we've got all our pieces. Let's go ahead and stamp our greeting. This is in Cajun Craze. And I love this Sending Autumn Wishes Your Way. Such a nice greeting. And right in the center of that label. Okay. So our two stamped images for this card. We're going to add the leaf. I think I just add it straight on. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to add it with liquid adhesive because it's a little faster. Just a couple dots here or there. And we're going to kind of mimic the circle of the wood. Okay, so kind of go along with that shape. I'm going to bring it in just a little bit more so that's not coming off the card too much. Keeps wanting to get stuck. And I keep wanting to put it in the same place. There we go. So just along that edge, it can come off of the inside rectangle, but shouldn't really go beyond the edge of the card, just so you can easily get it into an envelope. Then let's add our little mushroom. I'm going to put a dimensional on the top and bottom, and this is going to go to the right side, and I want it to kind of be in the bottom here and close to the edge there. Okay. Then let's do our greeting next. Just going to put a dimensional on the left side and leave the right side open for now so I can tuck in a little twine. Maybe something like that near the bottom. And then our leaf. We'll do a little dot of glue at the bottom and the dimensional at the top, and then just slide that in just to give them a little bit of contrast between all those images. All right, so I grabbed a new roll of linen thread since I used up my last one, and I'm going to do about 10 inches. And just tie a regular bow. You could also do a faux bow if you prefer those. This one, it's a little off, so we'll just trim a little bit. And we'll just pop that underneath the greeting here on the right side with the glue dot. You can put the glue dot on the knot of the bow, and then you can just slide it wherever you want it. Just like that. Oops. And then if you want to add another glue dot just to hold that greeting in place, you can. Just going to add it right by where it will adhere to the mushroom. So like that. And that card is all done. Really quick, simple, some fun ways to distress your cards. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me create these 2 alternatives today. If you would like to see written instructions or close-up images on how to create these cards, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. If you would like to subscribe to get your own paper pumpkin kit, please do so using the link in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.